Guys, we've got a very exciting one today. We were one of the first companies to introduce the 2021 integrated CarPlay system for the Y62 Patrol. We nutted out pretty much every software glitch in the Tesla screen. We fixed the sound issue in the TIL on the Tesla screen. I believe we're still the only company to have the TIL work with the Tesla screen with no sound feedback at all at low volume. And today we're very happy to introduce this new system that we're going to be offering. This will be on the website. We're going to be going through the whole installation today. So we're going to show you guys how to fit it. We'll go through all the steps. We'll go through the system when it's done, how it works, show you the integrated CarPlay side of things. And just at a glance, we'll get a better look at this later in the video. The buttons, everything feels really, really high quality on this. We're very happy with the look of this so far. In the kit, we've got the first screen, the second screen. So this is great because it does keep that OEM plus kind of look. And we've got the wiring. First part is disassembly. So if you've watched any of our other Patrol videos, we go through this a lot. It's gonna help to get a microfiber towel and put it down right here. If you've not done this before, a lot of people will pull this off and they'll actually scrape this. You're just gonna leave the microfiber towel right there. And the first thing you wanna do on the gear selector is pull this right down. Your gear selector then has this little clip on it. Just gonna pop that out and the whole thing comes up. Next up, you're gonna pull this whole panel up and out. So I like to sit on the passenger side, pull it up from, get my hands underneath the side there, pull it straight up. And then you can pretty much lift it up and out towards yourself. That's the best way to do it. There's a little plug here. So if you're good enough, you can actually get it with one hand and it will make it very easy to pull the whole thing out. Then we've got 1, 2 plugs, and that's it. That's panels ready to be set away. Next step, these 2 panels right here. Nice and easy. What you're gonna do is from the bottom, just mimic this on the passenger side as well. You can either remove this panel, which is what I like to do because it makes it easy. It has 3 clips on it, pulls out really easily. And then all you're gonna do is just pull back. That's it. The whole thing comes out. Then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 Phillips heads. Once those are removed, this is the next panel we're gonna remove. You can try and pull back on it if it's a bit tight. It's always good to have a plastic panel tool remover to find the clips and pop them out. This has been out before, so I'm gonna assume, yeah, it'll just come out nice and easy. This little screw right here, this will allow the whole screen cover to be removed, like so. Boom. Then we've got 2 screws holding the screen in, a bunch of plugs behind the screen. We've got 2 more screws holding the top of the CD changer, and then another 2 at the bottom, which means this panel also needs to come out. Now you don't have to remove this all the way. You can just pop it off from the top and the bottom. Like so. And you can just get it out of the way enough to get those screws, or you can remove it. It's totally up to you. There's a couple plugs there that we don't want to unplug, so we're just going to leave them plugged in. You can set that there, just keep it safe while we remove all of this stuff. So we've got CD changer and screen completely removed. There's a lot of plugs here, so just be careful and just obviously unplug them all. This is a climate control module. It has 2 Torx 20s on it. Remove the Torx 20s, take it off, and plug it back in, and leave it here. We'll go through that later why you need to do that. So we removed the climate control module and plugged it back in. So what we can do with that later on is look at maybe zip tying it down here and just keeping it, just needs to stay plugged in and left out of the way, okay? In the kit, you will have some packaging. 1, USB retention. So if you want to keep the factory USB ports working, you can do that with this one here, and it will have to plug into one of these ports here. We're not going to go through that because our customer wants to run the USB into the center console instead, so we're happy to do that. The retention, forget about in this car. HDMI cable, so that's going to run from the main screen to the secondary screen. Sound, or might even be control port, but from the main to the secondary screen, nice and easy. Wi-Fi antenna for wireless CarPlay. Some mounting hardware, pretty awesome. Then we've got the in and outputs. So for anyone that wants to know, because I know a lot of people are going to ask, it has an AUX input. It has a front camera input, so you can use that for a front camera, obviously. AUX video in, so if you have a caravan, yes, you can hook up the caravan to the screen. We'll probably do a video on that in the future. Amp turn on, it's got a camera power, so 12 volts rear output to a camera if you want. It's got a secondary or primary camera input as well, so just for an aftermarket camera. All the outputs if you want to run an amplifier or subwoofer, right, front, rear, left, right, all outputs. Brake controller, center, and it's got a subwoofer output as well, so if you wanted to run a sub. Other than that, you've got reverse, brake wire, those things you probably won't use. If you've got factory cameras, which all of you most likely will, you don't need to worry about any of this, it will all just work. GPS antenna. We do get some people asking if it's necessary to put it in. The answer is yes, always. Definitely have to put it in. It helps with location data, helps pick up time, so your time and date is correct. So means it needs to be in a good position as well. If you use your hand and feel up here right above the vent, there's a nice big flat surface right there, and it's right on top of the dash, which means you don't need to stick it up here like an ugly antenna. Okay, it's a crappy install if you do that, in my opinion. It looks gross. You can stick it in here, right? Still nice and high on the dash. It still picks up great reception. Out here, it'll pick up reception within 30 seconds or less. Okay, double-sided, it's right down. Put some pressure on it. Okay, it's not gonna go anywhere. Then you can run your cable down through here, and we can tidy all this up later on. Okay, in the kit, you're gonna have some cable sets. Now, depending on the spec of the vehicle, the year of the car, because this does work with all of the Y62 cars in this range, Patrol, Armada, all of them, the Infinity as well. So I've figured out what we're going to use. So what we want to do first, bring these cables down to here. That's nice and easy. 2, you'll see this plug in the kit. So this is for a 2020 Y62 Patrol, 2021, 2019, a Series 5, okay? That's gonna plug right in there, and it leaves you with a little white plug that goes directly into the new unit. So that's done. Secondly, you've got this plug here. So that one there is the only cable set that fits this and this power harness down here. Boom and boom. Okay, so they're both done. Now what we need to do is these will plug into the new system. The rest we can tape up. This is the factory GPS antenna, tape it up. The factory radio antenna, keep that plugs into the new unit. These cables here, don't worry about them. You can chuck them out, you don't need them. While we're there, we'll run our HDMI and our new little power cable from the main to the secondary screen. Okay, so what we are up to now, we've run our HDMI cable and our little power cable for the new screen. That just comes down here, which will mount to the main screen. The antenna for the radio we've kept. We've done a USB retention, so it has 2 USB inputs. USB 2 will work with the factory USBs, and USB 1, the main one, center console, as per customer's instructions. This here is the factory hazard light switch. That plugs right into the new unit, and that's how you're going to get your hazard lights to work, so we're going to keep that. We've bundled up a lot of the plugs here that we did our plug and play connection that you saw earlier. So all we have now are the new plugs for the radio. So as you can see, nice and clean, everything's taped up. Everything that's loose is being utilized and plugged into the new radio. and everything else is taped up and secured away. The aircon module we've zip tied right here, it's not going anywhere, and that is pretty much that side of things done. So what we can do is plug in the radio and start testing. Before that, there is one more thing we need to do. If we can very carefully pull this out. I left it here earlier for a reason. Okay, look at that. That's how you do it. This is the factory air vents and little cool beauty panel. We need to remove it. You need to remove the vents and pop them onto the new screen. So you can see the new screen has a bunch of holes here. That's for this beauty panel. And it's obviously got the cutouts for the factory vents. So how that comes out, it's actually very easy. You got 1, 2, 3 screws. That will take that silver trim off, screw it right on there. Then you've just got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 clips on each vent. So just undo the clips and pull it back as you go, it'll release, and just slide it into the new housing. That is the new panel. So we've removed the silver trim and the vents, and we've also taken the 2 little clips off the bottom, which are in my hand. And what we're going to do with those is grab our new awesome screen and slide those on. 1 and 2, okay, boom. Now, all we need to do is pop this in. So there's 2 plugs, 1 HDMI port. All right, there, make sure that gets plugged in all the way. Little power harness, only goes one way. Plug it in, and then you can start to feed this unit in, like so. Okay, let's just get that nice and straight, and there we go. That's how she's looking. So we're going to use the factory 1, 2, 3 screws and screw that screen in. Next up will be this panel here. So if you've got a bunch of plugs in there, just plug them all in. Otherwise, the only thing you need to worry about is power, USB, and cigarette lighter power. All right, just the same as before, I've grabbed all of the clips from the factory panel, removed them, and we're just gonna squeeze them on to our new radio. Once they are on, you've got some USB ports here. So USB 1, we're going to connect to here. And what that is if you have a look in there, you can look at our nice custom flush mount USB. So that'll connect to CarPlay and Android Auto. And then USB 2, we've just done a cool retention for, so that way you can still use these 2 USBs here for charging, or USB input for music and movies, anything like that. I like to put a touch of tape on these plugs, whoops, without dropping it. Okay, now we can start plugging stuff in. So basically, each plug will only go into one house. So for example, we can start with radio antenna. It will only fit into the antenna plug there. And then all you need to do is just keep going along and plugging everything in. There's 2 HDMI ports. This HDMI port is for your secondary screen. So that's gonna go in there like that. And this cable will go into here like so. Just make sure you get it all the way in. And then this port here is for the HDMI output. So if you've got a TIL with the rear screens, you can plug that in there. This is what the screen looks like right here. Okay. So we've got sound working. Steering wheel controls all working. If we go 360 camera, you can bring up your camera. So with the climate control, what we're going to do is go ahead and select climate. So we can turn the fan up, we can use these buttons. And I don't know if you're going to see this through video, but the quality of these buttons is insane. You have to feel it to believe it. Guys, from form to function, this is absolutely insane. Really happy with the whole installation. Just quickly, if you have any questions regarding the installation or anything like that, drop a comment below. And of course, like I said before, we do sell this screen on www.shoptfb.com. Into reverse, straight away, your reverse camera pops up. So you've got image of the car and also the OPS display. So what we can do, we can actually remove that OPS display just by touching the screen. Top screen, we've got YouTube here. You've got video input, so you can use USB either down here with the factory USB or with the new USB that we added, which you would have saw earlier. Plug in your device, just like that, and it will connect to the screen. And it's the top screen that you use for CarPlay or Android Auto. Keep your phone handy if it's not if it is the first time you're connecting, because your phone will ask you for a permission. But that's it there. So straight away you've got Apple CarPlay on the screen ready to go. And just at a glance, that's pretty much the system. Things to note: very happy with the quality of the buttons. They're very nice to touch. I know it's a weird thing to note, but when you feel it, you'll know what I mean. System looks great, quality is great. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments below. The screen is linked down below as well, this exact one. And that's pretty much it, guys. Thank you all for watching.